Same thing. They're all
that camera.
that is just
Yeah, I know.
right on the verge.
Right on the verge.
Well, we just take the bearings out and turn them over.
Yeah, you just
We'll put the worn ones on the bottom.
Yeah, put one on one way, one on the other.
Doesn't that make sense to you?
At the 1.5 miles, 101.607.
So let's set up the bore gauge, and we're going to set it up to measure the actual cylinders. So I want you to go through doing this. So we have it right now. We have it set up 2 1/4, which is what we just did for the rods. So what we'll do is we'll take this apart. We take off the cap. We take off this.
The little doodads.
This I don't know what you call that part. And we're gonna take the shim out. We had the
0.8.
80 thou shim in there. Now we need to get to 3.504. So if we excuse me, if we go up through and we look at all these numbers, we can see we go to 3.4 and 3.6. So we want to be able to measure. We're 104 thousandths more than this one, and we're 96 thousandths less than that one. And we just had that set up on a 2, and we added a 8 to get there. So this one, if we have a 0.4, we need to get to 3.5. We could add this 0.12 shim to this 3.4, and then we'll have 3.52 is what we can measure to. Yep, put that in, put that little guy over that. We'll take that out of the way. Now we need a,
What?
No, that's right. What am I doing? Foolish. I thought I put this micrometer away thinking that we didn't need any more, but we do. Okay, so you're tight. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this micrometer to the 3.504 that we're looking for in the bore. So we can go to 5 right there. So we run the thimble back until the 0 touches this line here at the 5. And then we need to go 4 thousandths more than that. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we know we're at the 4 because we're 1 before the 5. Then we need to roll it up, and we need to look at this scale, and we need to line up on the 0 here. Line that mark up. So we go back. We'll start from the beginning. This is a 3 to 4. We're 3.5, so we're in between that dimension, right? And we go up to the 5. We're beyond the 5, so we know we're at least 3.5. Then we go 4 past 0 to 3.504, and then we need to make sure we line up our 0 on. I think it's the vernier scale. I could be wrong. I forget sometimes what they call it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock that. This little locks the thimble so it doesn't turn. Now we're going to use this to set the bore gauge. So what you always want to do is you want to try to roll it up on. So this is the movable side over here. So what I do is you push in and then let it fall back. Oops, it fell off. So this is the tricky part. A lot of times I like to put it in a vise, but we're just going to do this freehand. So then what you do is you move it around. And you find the center and you get it so that it stops moving. So this dial stops moving, and then what I'm going to do,
Set it to 0.
I'm going to set it to 0. Then I'll move this around some more. what you want is you want to see it go to, so I'm moving this end up and down. So as I move it up and down, it's going to get tighter, looser and tighter again as I go beyond center of the two pads on the mic. So I see it go up and down. Right there. So that is set at 0. So that is on right on our number. Okay. I'll take that off. All right, so we've set our bore gauge. So now, so we got that. So now what we'll do is we'll reset all these cameras, and we'll put the block right here so everybody can see it. Okay. All right, so we'll move this out of the way. I'll take our camera off. This one. Over here. Pull our block right back in here. Let's get another. Make sure that people can really see what's going on in here. So you can see there's discoloration in there from where this thing's been sitting. You can still see the crosshatch, but you can see where the pistons have sat for a long time with the rings.
This one you can.
It leaves a witness mark on the bore.
No, you can still see it.
But that, if you run your finger over that, though, can you really feel it?
No.
No. Okay. So we're
Not
gonna
at
measure.
all.
Yep. So we'll measure them now.
Not on any of
And
them.
we're gonna do it. And because what happens is the piston wears the bore. Doesn't wear it evenly always up and down. So we're gonna measure near the top and near the bottom, and we're gonna measure. And how many times did we put it on?
6.
3 times. Okay, so we're gonna measure this way, and that way. Yep. And I'm gonna be your
Rider?
Is it dictation?
I don't know.
So you're dictating, and I am recording. I was just trying to think of what's the person in the courtroom who sits there and stays.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, forget about that. All right. So why don't you get off your stool here?
I have to get off my
Yep,
stool.
because you want to stand up and be able to do this. Okay. And then let's roll. I think we could roll the block up.
It's stuck in the pin. Oh.
We'll roll the block up if we can, like this. And it shouldn't fall over on us, even though the pin's not in it. So we're going to start with number 1. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, go right in a row. So then let me just show you real quick.
Yeah, I don't know how to do this.
So what we're going to do is, I'd say we'll do it this way, and I can get a camera on the gauge. So you're going to roll it in like this.
What are you looking for in it, though? What is, like,
Why
how
don't
do
you come
you...
over on this side and I'll show you. Actually, you can bring the camera in too if you want. What we're looking for is we're going to put the fixed end in first, and then we'll roll it up on the rolls, like this. Now watch it go towards the 0, and then back. Towards the 0 and back. So now what I know is that when I'm tilted like this, it's going to be a longer dimension than what the bore is, because I'm not perpendicular to the wall in the bore.
It's falling.
Whoops. If we're like this in the bore, that's going to be a longer dimension than if we're like this in the bore. The tightest dimension, or the smallest dimension, is going to be as we pass through perpendicular to the wall, or perpendicular to the axes. Okay? So what you do is you put the fixed end in, and then you roll in with this end. So 0 is our 3.54. And I know that our final dimension, see how it stops moving right there?
Yeah.
So that's 1,000. So the small lines are half thousandths. The second larger line is a thousandth. And we know that because the dial indicator says 0.005 over here, meaning that this is incremented in half thousandths or 5/10,000ths of an inch of an inch. Yes. So as we move through, boom, boom, that's a thousandth over what it's supposed to be. So it's 3.505.
Where did you get that?
So we set this to be at when it was at 0. Watch, I'll push on it. Whoop. So at 0 is supposed to be 3.504.
Yeah.
But it's not 0. It's 1 larger than 0. 1,000ths larger than 0. See, 1,000ths larger than 0. So that means it's 3.505.
So if I told you, because I can't do that in my head, I already forgot it. Gonna be so completely honest. I'm gonna say 0 first big line.
0 first big line. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, that'll work.
Do you understand?
Yep.
And if I said 5 first big line, which probably won't happen, but
right. If it does, we're this thing
yeah,
is,
but like
woo,
it just
baby. Well, we bore it 10 over. Okay, so you're just gonna. So we're gonna do. Remember, we're gonna do it here, here, and then like this.
Okay, help me with the first one.
So let's just run through. I'm gonna go like this.
Yeah.
So that's 5 over. Okay. And then I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna do this. And that is right on the nose. Oh, sorry, it's 1,000ths over that way, and this one's right on the nose. Okay.
Is it so? You're just
And then
trying to
I'm
get it
gonna go-
flat.
Yep, you're just letting it roll through and get it comfortable. So, and I would say that's a 0.5 thousandths. So it's basically, it's got 1,000ths wear here, 0.5 thousandths here, and it's right on here. And that makes sense because the thrust on the piston when it's firing is against this wall. So this wall will wear way less than this area here. So this way doesn't wear nearly as much as this way does.
Okay.
Because when the piston's being pushed down, the angle of the angle of the connecting rod pushing on the crank is thrusting it into this wall.
Okay.
And that is also has something to do, which we won't go in there. I know it's just gonna, but the notches on the piston facing forward, that wrist pin is offset in the bore to help with that wear. And the noise. I can't remember if it's more about the wear or the noise. But anyways, so that's what you're gonna do. So we just measured the top. I'm gonna write those numbers down. And then now what you'll do is you'll go down in to about here. So if you look down in, it's still shiny. So where it's shiny is where the piston rings have been traveling all these years. We only want to measure in that area because that's what counts. It doesn't matter. Now, we don't want to measure at the bottom, though. We want to measure about halfway down because that's in reality where it's going to matter the most, is near the top and about halfway down, roughly.
Okay.
That's where the rings are doing the most work, or they need to do the most work. And I would say that one, halfway down is a 0.5 thou under that way. Right on the money that way. And wait a second. And actually a little bit over down there. Okay. So we'll rip down through these and then we'll share what they ended up being. Okay? All right. And then I can watch the gauge with you so that, or watch the indicator with you so we know. So it's fine. Just the key is is to remember to start like this and roll your way in. You'll get a feel for it. It's fine. So in this case, unlike before where we were talking about the carbide tips on the mic.
Can I break anything?
No, that's what I'm about to tell you. So the carbide tips on the mic are dangerous on the crank and on the pistons.
it has tool steel balls on the end, which are not going to mar up the cylinder. You have way less chance of hurting something. Yep, so once you get close to there, yep, so you pass back this way a little bit more. Yep, you want to see it go up and back, up and back as you go down and up. So you go beyond center both ways. Yep, go slow. Yep, now back the other way. Yep, so that's a half thousandths under in that direction. So that's 3.5045. Yep.
And then this way?
Yep, do the 45 now. Yep, you just bring it down halfway. You got it. There you go. So there. No, yep, so you don't have to go as far back. You only have to go back like a few points. Yep, up. Yep, go beyond. You got to see it go back down again. Yep, now back. Again, back, and you want to see it go back down again. So that's a half thousandths over. Under. I forget we're measuring an ID. So that's actually 3.5035 because it's a half thou undersized. Yep. Down a little bit more.
I was working on it.
Yep. There you go. Now run it through. Yeah, and then go again. Yeah, go again. So you always go up and then back, and then the other way, then up and then, nope, and then go this way, up, and then it will come back again. That's as you're going beyond center each way. So that one's a thousandths over, so that's actually 3.503. Okay, yep, now we're going on to number 2. Yep, do it in the top. And we are, go slow. Yeah, there. Now go back the other way. So that's a full thousandths under. So that's 3.505. Yep. Remember your 45. That's not a 45.
That is a 45.
That's front to back. We want to be 45
you want
to
to
this.
be 45.
Yep.
Why can't we do it this way, then 45?
Because the numbers, how I'm writing them is so up. Yeah, now the other way. Keep going. Yeah, so that's a half thou. So that's 3.5045. Yep, now do longitudinally. Longitudinally be along the axis of the crank. Yep, roll back the other way, up. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much right on 0. It's a little bit over, but we'll do 3.504. Great. And then you're going to do halfway down. That stool. Man, it's go again. I'd say it's a half. So it's a 3.5045. Go again. Go again. That's pretty much a 0 there. That's a full, yep, now go the other way. It's a full thousandths over. 1, 2, 3. Yep, see, you're getting the hang of it now. Whoa. Go up a little bit. Go up a little bit higher. Yep, measure higher in the bore. Yep, down a little bit. You want to be just under. See this mark right here? That's where the rim
I am
stops.
just under it.
Okay, down just a little bit more from there. Right? Yeah, up a little bit from there though. Right there, right there. Yeah. Okay, roll her in. Oh, that one is, yeah, go. That one's 2 thousandths under. Yep. Maybe a little higher than that. If you would. Yeah, right there. That's good. Again. It's 1.5 thou.
Is that too low?
Yeah, a little bit too low, and you want to get a little straighter back and forth. Yeah, right there would be good. Yep, good. So that's 1/2 under. You're down too far. Come on, get right about there. Okay, and go again. 1.5 thou. Thou. Up higher. You're creeping down. Yep. There you go. Yep. And that's. Let me run that one real quick. Just curious. Only because it was. Oh, it is 1/2 thou. It is 1/2 thou bigger. I just want to double check. Sometimes it's just good to have another person on, because the tools are only as good as the operator still, which is in the setup and also in the use itself. I've measured things 3 times myself before I settled in. Well, I did it earlier. You saw me try a few times until I got.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Is you measure it and then.
Because until I got the feel for it, which. So that one has 2000s taper in it. That's the worst one so far. Which 2000s taper is on the limit. But honing it though, if we get, which is going to have to be honed anyways.
This one looks small.
The hone. Yeah, sure.
It does. This way it looks small. This one looks really big. It is. It's bigger than that one.
You think so?
I think so. It looks it and it feels it.
Looks it and it feels it. All right. So what?
I need a tape measure. No, I'm just kidding.
So what we'll do is we'll run through the other side real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Get those down. So I think maybe a hone. I think I'm pretty confident a hone is all this will need. The pin didn't fit in this one. I think all this will need is a hone, which will get. So the hone, the 2000s out around this, I believe. Now I'm not an engine machinist, that's for sure, but I believe the 2000s out around this, we can clean or we can bring that in with just a hone. So we're gonna hone it anyways to take the schmoo out of the cylinder, and then straighten them up a little bit. And as long as the hone is centered going into this bore, we should be able to do both at the same time. Straighten them out the little bit they need to be straightened, and remove what bit of imperfections there are, so the rings have something good to seal on.
Okay.
All right, let's roll. Number 4.
This one.
Yep, right in front. Yep, roll through, roll through, roll through. It's a thou. Thou over. Hold on just a second. So that's a 3505. Again, that's right on the nose, so that's a 3504. A little bit higher. Yeah, you gotta look at your back end too. That's a 1/2 over. I'm saying over, but I really mean under. IDOD. Yeah, you could be, that's probably all right there. You could be up a little bit from there. Because you can see where the ring, up just a little bit from there. Right about there, yeah. Okay, that is, go again, 1/2 thou. And right on the nose. Yep. And go again. It's actually over, so let's. Yep. Next.
I did that one all the way through.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't remember.
Yeah, I mean it gets a little monotonous, that's for sure. This is not a very exciting subject. This is actually a pretty boring subject. With you're getting bored with your bore gauge. So we're half thou.
A little bit I am, yeah. But not too much.
Did you get the joke? Are you too tired to get the joke? This is the board.
No, I get it.
It's the board. Oh, okay.
I get it.
People! Alright. And
It's like
that's
half
thou.
No. It's again like half. Right?
Yeah, go again. Yeah, it's right there. It's like I'd say it's closer to a 0 than a half. I'm not splitting the difference like I was on the crank. Or like I was on the crank. Because the clearance from the piston to wall clearance on this is greater than no, it's actually in further respect it's not.
It's half.
Let me see. Go again. Go again. Yeah, it's half. Man, that's right between 0 and half. Half over.
We're almost done, sort of.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, go again. That's a 1. Up more. You're way down in there. Yep, half. And that's around the nose. That's half over. So it's going to be 35035. Yeah, give a thumbs up. Okay. Smell, man. Oh, what was it smelling?
And smell it. Like right here.
Oh, that's penetrating oil.
That's disgusting.
What? That's a good smell. It's better than. Oh, I don't know what's on your hand.
It's this. It's this. I was just beating on this.
Oh, I see.
See?
Now, we didn't measure the lifter bores, but they look great. Okay.
They look amazing.
They look amazing. All right.
Ow.
Sorry about that.
It's my
All right.
toe.
So, it's a long and kind of boring process. Measure out your engine. I'm sure a lot of you that are watching have done this plenty of times and know what it's like to go through and measure your engine out. It's a slow process, but I would say it's a very fruitful process, let's say, because you have a really good understanding about what you have or what you're starting with, so you can make good decisions. And the types of decisions that we want to make are financially based, because we want to build a spare engine for Brooks Ranger, and we want to take our time building this one because we want to do a little bit of like a little bit blueprinting, if you will, for a hot stock engine. And with that, we got to know what we're starting with and what parts that we have and where they're at. So we've gone through, we've measured everything on it. Brookie got a chance to get in there and do her first time using some measurement tools. And so far, we went through, we measured the crank, we measured the pistons, we measured the rod big ends, and we measured the bores. And what we found is the crank is probably really good, or good close to good enough. I think it's probably good enough. It depends on what our bearings measure out. But I think we can comfortably buy a standard set of mains and rods for it. Because we also, when we measured the big ends on the rods, we found that those were round. We measured in 2 different directions to make sure that they were round. They were all within, I think, a half thousandths roughly of each other. So the rods, the big end, within a couple of tenths actually. So I think the biggest, about 3/10 of a thousandth of an inch out of round. That was it. And so yeah, 3/10 of a thousandths out on the big end. So we think standard rod, standard main bearings, and then we'll torque it, put everything in, torque it, and we'll bore gauge the bearings themselves. We'll do it with the bore gauge, not plastic gauge. We'll use plastic gauge right before, that would be the final thing, the final check, just to make sure before we button the engine up, but we'll measure everything with the bore gauge beforehand. Plastic gauge does work. If you don't have a bore gauge or mics like that, go ahead and use a plastic gauge. It's just we do have this these measuring tools.
Equipment.
So we have this equipment, so we're going to use it. And so standard bearings, pistons, those are questionable. We've actually got to do some math now. So we had pistons are definitely questionable. So we've got, I know we had as big as 3.506 on a bore, and the piston that came out of that hole was as small as 3.507. So we've got,
You've got 506.
We got 5.3 thousandths of clearance in that one bore, which is too much. So I think we're going to have to put a set of pistons in it. What we did find, though, is that the bores, Gramp wasn't here for the boring part. He was eating dinner. So all the bore, the largest taper in a bore is 2 thousandths. And other than that, they're all about a thou and a half larger.
So
in the wear direction.
3.503, 4, 5.
So it's supposed to be 3.504.
504.
We measured 3.505 and 5055 pretty regularly in the wear direction.
So
top and middle.
Yep.
The difference is the greatest is 2 thousandths, but mostly a thousandths all across. So I'm hoping a hone will pay someone to hone it, because they can hone it. I'm hoping, and I'm not the engine machinist, but I'm hoping that that hone, we can hone them straight and round again, and clean them up enough that we don't have to bore it. And then I think we're going to have to get a set of pistons.
All depends on how the pistons measure out. They could be a little bit over and make up a difference. It's hard to say.
The new pistons,
right.
Yes.
New
Okay.
pistons.
Yeah, the new pistons.
Right.
So we'd have to buy new standard pistons in, measure them, and see if they are actually better than the pistons that we have. Because like we mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you'll see it in the video, but what we were talking about is it's a system, right? So it's this bore in combination with that piston, not just the bore on its own, and then the piston that we buy is absolutely going to be the right size. It's always the assembly of the two. It's a system, so we have to measure both and balance that out. So we buy pistons before we'd have it honed, which basically I guess is what we're going to have to do. Yeah, we'll buy a standard piston, we'll get it in, we'll measure it, and then we'll give it to machine shop so that they can hone it to the right diameter.
Maybe even buy a piston of a brand, one piston.
Yeah,
And
or
measure it.
just buy the whole rebuild kit with a place that returns are free.
Yeah, you'd have to return the whole kit or just the pistons, because if you buy
we return the whole.
if you buy a piston, you're going to get the rings fitted to the piston, so you'd have to return the rings and the piston.
Well, the rings aren't.
And if you measured the
Well, the rings aren't technically fit to the piston. The rings are just pre-ground for what bore it's supposed to be.
But if it's, I don't know if it would be a different ring if you had to go 10 over or not.
It would be a different ring. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, they're matched. They're not. Yes, I see what you mean with fit to the piston.
Right.
Yes, right. They are. Yeah, the rings will be pre-gapped in a rebuilder piston.
Yeah, to a degree.
To a degree.
Yeah.
And then if we have to change pistons, that means that we have to have the machine shop put them on, because these are a press fit piston,
Yeah.
They are not a full floater, and we don't have the heating tool for that. So we'd have the machine shop do that, which is not a big deal. We're gonna have to spend a little money here, a little more than I was hoping, but
but you know, to get it so it's as good as it can be tolerance wise.
yeah.
I mean, if you're going to use this and maybe eventually put it in there with E85 or whatever it might be.
No E85 because you can't get it anywhere around here unless you pay buco dollars.
Oh yeah,
to
from
use
VP.
buco amounts of it.
Yeah.
So we don't have any E85 up here. The fuel
You can get it from.
We can get it from the same dealer that we get for the
MS-109.
The MS. So we use MS-109 in the 944 car. But the thing is, you buy E85 at a premium. We're going to use 1/3 more of it than when you would use regular gas. It makes no sense. We're also going to be NA. So we're not going to be utilizing the cool. We're not really going to be.
We're not going to worry about.
We're not
the
going to
heat
be taking advantage of the alcohols in the or the ethanol.
Yeah, I did price the E85, and it was like 1/3 the cost of MS-109.
And you'll use.
When you break it down, it comes out the same.
You'll use more, but then you also have the issue with having ethanol in your fuel system and maintaining it.
So don't want to do that with this regular.
Yeah. So
I guess so.
So yeah. All right. So that is. We're probably gonna. We'll have shown you how clean the underside of the truck is at this point. Excellent. All right. So thanks for watching. This is I don't know. Is this part 2 or 3?
2.
This is part 2.
Combination.
This is part 2. This is part 2 of the.
I'm gonna say 2.5, I guess.
2.5, 2.5.
Yeah.
Of what? What is this of?
Working on the truck. Working on my Ranger truck.
Danger Ranger.
The Danger Ranger. The Ford frickin' Ranger. The Splash. The mini truck.
I like it.
Still coming up with a name for
I thought
it.
it was Darla.
No, that was an idea. It's in the list. I have a list of names. I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay. Anyways, doesn't have a name yet. We don't necessarily name everything.
I do.
Call it
but-
Rodney.
No.
Rodney Ranger.
Right. It was just about Rodnock Ranger.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? It probably was Rodnock Ranger, given how close some of those were. Yeah. So
it would have been. It
was
been
really
another
close.
few thousand miles, 10,000,
and it would have been Dunzo. Yeah.
Yeah, one slight overheat, and it would have been
beyond. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming by, hanging out with us, and checking out our project. This is going to be a fun one. Look forward to the progress and keep coming back and checking it out.
Mm-hmm. See ya.
Bye. Look at those goofballs.
What was that?
Huh?
Nothing. Get away from me. Crazy people.